Hello and welcome everybody to the latest episode of the War of Inheritance. When last we left our heroes, they had arrived at Balthazar's camp to find it abandoned with a stone road leading away to the northeast. Pog, Iris's black dragon familiar, had returned, bearing tidings of her mother, and chat says they are ready to listen to Yorg facing death once again. So we're going to start here.
No, I passed my first death saving.
Lovely.
Oh, that's good.
Pog clambers around your shoulders and strings himself like a scarf over your neck, Iris.
What took you so long?
Oh, I was talking to Cole.
Is he all right?
Oh yeah, he's been busy.
Okay.
He's doing stuff. Oh, don't worry, he's headed to Old Town now
Good.
to get them helms.
But they're not going to be there yet.
Well, that's all right. He'll wait.
Sure.
He says he'll meet you there.
Fine.
Yeah. Colm, for anybody new to the stream, is an enormous black dragon.
And this will be fine.
This will be totally
Old Town was a safe town.
Old Town has some very sensible people in upper management.
Balthazar's camp has been abandoned.
Okay. What are we doing?
Neve the Druid's little elemental fox has gone over and sat at Iris's feet with its little cloud tail wagging, looking up expectantly at Pog.
So Fox is looking up at Pog. Pog is doing its level best to try and ignore this fox, but you can tell that it's getting annoyed, and as you move, the fox follows along. It's waiting for a chance to, I don't know, maybe jump on Pog.
Just keep an eye on the fox, but it's fine. When it comes to the rest of you guys, we need to go north.
Well, by the looks of the road, that's where the ogres must have gone.
Good.
Looks like it. Why do you need to go north?
I've just heard that my mother's somewhere up there, and she's going to be killed in 2 weeks. So I'd quite like to stop that.
Wait, what?
That's what Pog says. Colm's found out.
These are two very big bits of news back to back. Right.
Do we have like a clock for this now? Like a countdown clock to some horrible thing occurring? Because I feel like we should get one. It's starting to... in this season of 24.
Yes. This is what Pog says.
Mother is alive.
Apparently.
Congratulations.
Do you know where she is?
Pog, do we know exactly where she is?
Oh, she's somewhere north, boss.
No. That way.
Okay, so we've got...
I wouldn't be surprised if it was something to do with the order of annoying dwarves who go around killing ogres.
They are the lawkeepers.
The lawkeepers, yes.
They abbreviated it. Like the order of annoying dwarves that go around murdering people was it wasn't good for the PR.
They don't murder people, they murder witches.
Oh yes, that's true. Okay, so far I'm hearing 3 really pressing reasons to go north. So Darius, would you like to put your reasons in for heading north, which I assume consist of no, we're going to Krasov.
Look, we are headed to Krassos.
By the north, glad we agree, let's go.
No, hang on. We are headed to Krassos to see the wedding of Lord Tyndall and Lady Freya.
So, if they got married now, that'd be fine.
No, listen, I've got very clear and specific orders. So Darius tries to look as imposing as he can. He is the tallest person here. Listen, Lord Tyndall, help me out here.
Come on.
My love, do we need to go north?
Is Iris's mother? That's
Then-
important.
I'm sorry, Sir Darius, says Lord Tyndall. No, my lord, it is I who is sorry, but you are coming with me right now, back to the boat. Come on. And there's a standoff as Darius and Tyndall are looking at each other. I shan't, says Tyndall.
We don't need to fight about this. There's plenty of useful intelligence that could be gathered in a journey up to the north, especially for an heir to the throne of Krassos. And it's not as if both parties are against the wedding, as far as I'm aware. So it's going to happen at some point.
Roll me a persuasion check.
Oh no. That is a 16.
16 is pretty great. Look, they have to... I'm not having you running off again because... And Tyndall comes forwards and he says, Darius, look. And he shows him an engagement ring. And for a moment...
Freya is very embarrassed.
For a moment, the veneer of professionalism that Darius is putting on completely crumbles. And he hugs Lord Tyndall. And then he says, right.
Lord,
You want 2 weeks is what we need.
Lord Tyndall is going to be safer for you on the boat.
I can send a short message to Krassos for you by way of recompense to let them know of the delay.
Right. That will be most appreciated. Oh, yes.
25 words?
Then I will compose one.
Tyndall has done this before, hasn't
Tyndall
he?
has done this before. Hang on a second. Where's the Lady Amelia? And Sir Darius says, she headed back to Krassos, my lord. All right then, where are we headed? North is a bit vague.
I
It's incredibly
suggest we
specific.
follow the
What are you on about? It's a
yellow brick
90-degree
road.
arc. What more do we need?
I think we should follow the yellow brick road.
Come, Darius, says Tyndall. Charges off ahead.
Tin Man in Darius.
Yeah.
The Scarecrow.
No, Neve is the scarecrow,
No,
right?
you've got brains.
Oh, I suppose, yes, if you're looking at attributes.
Right.
I'm Dorothy.
Yes, naturally.
Yeah, Tyndall's clearly Toto.
Right.
So which of
Come
us
along, Toto.
which of us is the lion and which of us is the... I think you're the Tin Man and I'm the lion.
I'm not
then?
having this. Darius is a better Tin Man.
Lions and tigers and bears.
Oh my!
my.
So you head on up the stone road. This is a new stone road.
Yeah.
You're just going to be riding slightly off the stone road
Good
so that
news.
when he falls off Florence, it is...
Less painful.
yeah, let's go with that.
All right. Can you please make me an animal handling check?
With advantage.
With
Didn't even tell.
yes.
With advantage, John?
Yeah, of course. If you are being assisted, ably by someone who is used to stables and mounts.
Many big, huge ones.
Lots and lots. You're starting to get the hang of this. You have been riding for maybe an hour and fallen off once, which is pretty good going. Darius is continuing to laugh every time you do, but you're falling off less frequently, and he's going, this is less fun now. he's getting the hang of this. And, oh yes, this, I should have given you before, is the map that Lord Bucks presented.
An accurate map.
Ooh.
It's
As
an
accurate as
we
the
show it?
times
Yeah, you
will
can,
allow.
you
How
can show it
I
on
remember
the,
this, I'm
you
not
can show it
sure
on
if
the
it's
stream.
correct.
Put it down.
You can thank Lo-Fi for the wonderful artwork.
Wait, that way,
It's
that
good,
way.
it's
There we
good.
go.
There we go.
So we're like up here
Okay.
somewhere.
Yes, you're off in the wildlands. It's a very limited utility for you right now.
That bit where it says "Here be dragons," that
It's moving.
it's with the accurate map, Mark.
It's a mini map. I have looked into laminate printing, but we'll talk about that later. So, you're walking along the stone road. It is a reasonably well-made stone road, and you can see that there are 2 ruts that run parallel to it, to each other, going like grooves for, well, you don't know, but
Drainage.
drainage
Sorry,
possibly.
Yeah. Sorry. Dave's brain, who did his Roman history.
It could well be drainage. But you can see 2 grooves either side of the road, and it progresses on, and you can see that the terrain is becoming not what you're used to. You are familiar with a fairly temperate climate of trees and forests, and the forests have receded behind you, and you're entering a patch of scrubland.
Okay.
It's still vegetation and terrain around, but you can see off in the distance the towering heights of the Blackspine Mountains.
So we don't have a lot of cover here on the path.
No.
I've never been this close to them before.
What are we actually going to do if we get to Balthazar and find the Pants Wizard?
Well.
Oh, at this point, I'm assuming that Balthazar has killed the Pants Wizard, polymorphed himself into Balthazar. The Pants Wizard had killed Balthazar, polymorphed himself into a facsimile of Balthazar, and is leading the ogres in that regard. That's my assumption.
But he's without his helm, isn't he?
I'm just going with what the
Found
worst
the
case
helm,
scenario is.
If I
Yeah.
see the Pants Wizard, I'm going to kill him before he can do any magic.
I commend your enthusiasm.
I'll
I
take
commend
a
your enthusiasm.
perception check from who's at the. Well, I'll take one for everybody. That's fine.
Yeah, let's see how.
Disadvantage for focusing on not falling off of.
Yeah, that's for helping you. I'm focusing on him.
No, I'm predicting. Left to win.
I'm also not looking
Yeah,
around.
go for it. Nat 20. Okay,
Oh
lovely.
boy, I'm really not.
20, but on disadvantage.
On disadvantage, that's pretty impressive. Okay, so Jorg, you fall off of Florence, creating a perfect sightline for both Iris and Freya, who look and you can see something is like a bird is flying across the sky in the distance, far to the north, and it's getting closer and closer, and then it swoops down and picks up something and flies off again back to the north. And the thing that it picked up, you're pretty sure was a horse.
Ow.
How big is the bird compared to the horse?
Yeah, you assumed it was a much smaller bird and just further away, but it swooped down and it picked up a horse, and it is 10 times the size.
So there are horses.
What's everybody looking
There,
at?
there may be
Importantly, there are
horses.
probably dragons.
What? What is everybody
What is
looking
it?
I'm
at?
pretty sure it was a bird.
What is everybody looking at?
You can now see a tiny black receding into the
Is it
distance.
a bird?
They eat a horse.
Big bird.
Yeah, that. Wait, there's a horse over there. Why is there a horse over there?
Indeed, we should investigate the horse supply.
Is it going in the direction of the road, or is it we having to go off the road?
No, it's off further into the scrubland. This road is pressing towards the mountains, and you can see now that there are a pair of dwarves who are walking down the road.
Are they in plate mail in the style of the?
No, these are
Okay,
dwarves who are walking down the road. They have got robes
Wear
on,
no plate mail.
and
they wear robes.
they're wearing travelling clothes.
Okay.
Okay, not like monkey.
Not like monkey robes.
Not like the lawkeepers.
Yes, and they are each holding a handle of a large cart that they are dragging behind them. You can hear the rumbling, and you look up and you can see the two figures approaching. There's a slight heat shimmer as they head towards you. The sun is really quite high in the sky now.
Hail.
And yeah, you hail and they put the cart down. One of them steps forward. Well, greetings, friends.
Great.
Whoa, what are y'all doing up this way?
We're looking for some friends.
I suppose you've seen a big group of ogres, have you?
Oh, Balthazar's group. Sure.
Cool.
Where are they? Are they okay?
Yeah, they came back to the fort.
Why?
I believe they're being incorporated.
Incorporated.
Yeah, they've been inducted into the military.
Do they want to be?
I assume so.
Cool.
A human wizard with no trousers on. Seen that?
Hang on, he was going to be part of my military. Someone stole my ogres.
I ain't seen no human wizard without any pants.
Okay.
Did you see that big bird?
Oh, it was a rock.
What's a rock?
Big bird.
Assume we've never been this far north. I have no context for that.
Sure. Well, you don't head out in the desert, you should be fine.
All
In
right.
the desert.
Yeah, that way. And he points and you see that the scrubland, I mean, it's hard to see, but the scrubland fades into what looks like, I mean, there's bits of rocky outcroppings and heat shimmer, and it's desert that way, is what he's saying.
Is there any? Is there a temple or a shrine in the desert?
Maybe. There's Mercy Point,
What's that?
a prison.
Oh,
It's where the law keepers keep all their stuff.
I think that's where you
Like prisoners.
Much like prisoners.
That is typically what is kept in prison. Yes.
I'm sorry, I'm Jackson.
Hello, Jackson. My name's Ian.
Iris.
Greetings.
Lucy.
This is Wayne. He's mute. Wayne makes a few signs, and
What's your
Tyndall
calling?
And
we're
Darius.
going to pick up. Yeah, greetings are given all around.
Yeah.
We're going to pick up what's left of the camp and take it back.
Oh,
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
Balthazar's moving the whole thing up then.
Well, I believe so.
Okay.
I'm following orders.
No, that's fair. No, I get you.
Could you direct us to the fort? We need to give a message to Balthazar.
Sure, you see this road?
Mm-hmm.
Follow
Follow
it.
the road.
That's
And what's the way to the prison?
I mean, you need to
Can
be a
mark it on
lawkeeper.
here?
He looks at your map. This is a very accurate map, I assume, of the southern lands. And there's just a big blob where it says
Actually, no, we've
Wild
got
Land.
a
Yes,
map
I'm
of the,
filling it out.
we've got a map of the Northlands. Hang on, where is
It's
it?
not in there. We'll find it. Okay, so you have a map of the Wildlands. While you guys are hunting for it, he says, "Oh, whoa. The way to the prison, you need to take the train."
A what?
The what?
The what?
Wizard's business.
Okay,
Talk to the law keepers.
okay. So
If you want to go to
go
Mercy
to the
Point,
fort and then take the
Sure.
train.
There's
But
a train from the fort to Mercy.
they will not let you go.
Okay.
I'd be
But there is a train now.
shocked. Yeah, you wouldn't want to go.
Do you need any water?
Got full canteens, but appreciate the effort. What's your name?
Neve.
Neve. Thank you, Neve. All right, come on, Wayne. Let's move on out.
We'll see you when you come back, probably.
Sure. Give my regards to Balthazar. All right, Balthazar. And chat says, "Choo choo, I'm a wizard."
Sorry, remind me, who's Dwayne?
That was Wayne.
Wayne.
Chat is great. Yes, there is Wayne and Jackson with these two, and they walk off into the distance. You follow the stone path, and you can see that it turns and heads straight towards the Blackspine Mountains. And I mean, it's going to be another couple of hours, but if you guys are happy to spend time.
Just a quick conversation. So it seems quite likely that we might need to break into a prison.
Yes.
Easy.
I say, looking. Good. However, we probably don't want to tell them that.
I think that's a good idea.
But we know
Typically,
that
when you're looking to break into a prison, the first thing to do is not tell people that's what you want to do. Yes.
we're trying to establish a cover story. Why would we want to go into the desert?
Why don't we just commit a crime?
I think that's a bad idea. Then we'll be inside. and
Prison
we'll have
having to break out.
I mean, like,
Which is significantly harder.
From what I can tell, two of you don't actually have to commit a crime to get locked up by these people. Because you're both Nova, and they don't
Sure.
like
That is true.
you.
We'll have to keep
I
that
think,
quiet.
well, they did try and murder the last Nova they met, so maybe.
I mean,
That's bad.
Yeah, maybe prison is not an option.
I
for
mean,
us.
I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one who remembers this, but like they did succeed, I think, twice.
I mean, I do have one spare disguise.
Is it just a moustache?
Yes.
No, I think you'd rock a moustache, Iris.
It's a little complicated.
There may be other ways.
So, are we assuming that your mother is that what Pog says?
Pog doesn't know, but I think it's likely, given that where else would you know someone was going to die in 2 weeks? How else would that
Well,
be?
execution's a way to do it. Yeah.
But maybe we can talk to Balthazar. He's a friend.
That's
and
true.
he'll know what's happening in the fort and
But
hopefully
I
won't
would
give us
be-
away.
If he's signed up with them, I would be cautious of how much we share. But having a cover story for going into the desert does seem like a good idea, and we have a cover story for going into the
Going
desert.
to visit the
How
shrine.
is your bag of mud doing?
Bag of mud is much the same.
Yeah, bag of mud is. It needs. You don't know what it needs.
It's not getting worse. It's just not getting better.
Okay. Well, we'll go. Actually, no, that's the thing. I assume we're all still walking at this point.
Sure.
So, I feel like we've skipped over a couple of important points here. Do you want to talk about you and Titus, or do you want to talk about you and Blair, and in what order? Because like this feels like a thing that happened, and then we lost it.
I think. Well, now this was even before you were in Hollyhock. This was back when I was probably not much older than you, in fact. And wouldn't you know it, talking about Titus and talking about Blair sort of go hand in hand.
Oh, okay.
There were a group of us, me and my friends, and we were young and stupid. And
Yep.
Dad, I'm not like that.
Tyndall is.
And I suppose mostly in defiance of our parents, but for various reasons, we decided to become followers of the Fae. And we joined the Wild Hunt, and entered into service with Titus, if that's what you could call it. And it was exhilarating. It was marvelous. It was incredibly dangerous.
Isn't it when you're young?
Yeah. And Blair was one of the group and was looking for more, where most of us were content just to be caught up in the euphoria and the bacchanal of it all and hopefully escape without too many cuts and scrapes and bruises. Blair was trying to claim more power for herself, and was pulling the group into a dangerous direction. And it got to the point where we were fearing for our lives. And I asked Titus if he could help, and Titus told me that he had killed her.
Because he helped.
Yes. And that was the point when I stopped being part of that group.
Because that wasn't what you wanted, was it?
Not at all. And so I don't know who this person is. I don't know why they would be pretending to be Blair, but Faye can't lie. And so if Titus says that he has killed Blair, then he has killed her.
So that leaves two possible, well, a whole bunch of possible. There are at least two that I can think of.
Yes.
And one that Titus definitely believes that he did. Because
but he didn't for some reason, and in
or
some
failed
ways
to for
he's come back.
some manner. Or again, coming back from the dead is not the strangest things that's happened to any of this group.
Yes.
You hear the sound of hooves on stone and
Try not to trade them the kingdom for a horse.
a pair of
I don't have a kingdom.
a pair of small horses with dwarves on come riding up and stop in front of you. And these riders are not like the dwarves you met before, who were, we're just off to pick some stuff up. These guys are in military garb. They're in leathers, and they have bows and swords at their side. And they pull the horses up and they say,
Hail.
"Hey, what business?
We're heading to the fort.
Why?
To see an old friend, Balthazar.
Have you been summoned?"
No.
We have dire tidings we must convey to him.
"Please come with us."
An escort? Yes, please.
And they escort you.
I'm going to have a quick word with my elemental fox, and it is going to follow along the side of the road in the form of a little dust flurry.
That's very cute. it is always going to look a bit like a fox.
That's okay.
So it's
But
going
it's
to
going to be a dust flurry kind of fox thing.
Okay, fine. So
Hopefully won't be too
can
obvious.
you roll me a disguise check?
Oh no, why you make me roll a disguise
Because
check?
that's
Make
what
the
you-
fox do it.
Hog.
What is disguise?
Chat says, I'm begging you, please let everyone go on a train. We'll get there, Chat. It depends if they get arrested.
That would be a good time for you to
we're
have a
getting
snooze in my
What
hood
is-
and stay there.
Oh yeah, all right, boss. What a day.
What is disguise? I don't know.
Use of disguise kit, it would use...
What did you roll? You rolled a 16, that's going to be fine.
Okay.
That's going to be absolutely fine.
Fine.
There is no skill for it. It's a thing you have to press.
So, your fox is fairly disguised. Pog is curled up in your hood. And as long as you don't ever need to put your hood up, that should be okay.
Put up.
Dragon!
I'm gonna sort of be riding near to one of the riders and just be like attempting to.
Sure. So, they see what you're riding,
Yeah.
and
We can hide our weird things.
what is that?
Don't get too close.
This is Florence. She's my Gorgon.
You're going to have to leave that here.
I can put it in the stables when we get there. She's fine. She's housebroken. Just don't put her on a boat. She'll be fine.
There may also be benefits to a Gorgon in a quarry. It would be good to discuss this further.
You don't know that's where we're going.
We're going to a fort, right?
Yes?
Yeah.
You with your knowledge. Right. All right, so the...
Sorry.
That's right. Second time today. The stone bull looks at the dwarf dead in the eyes and breathes some smoke. Would you like to make me a... I can take persuasion or intimidation.
Yorg is like these are military guys. Like,
They
as
are.
far as Yorg is concerned, it's persuasion matter. So
Okay.
Going with persuasion. Where are we? If only because I'm
Either is
trained
fine.
persuasion. 12.
12, okay. You cannot bring a Gorgon into a war camp.
I suppose that's fair.
Can I at least leave her on the outskirts rather than on the way out here? Sure. Then we'll get the. Tell me when I need to.
Okay, so they after 5 minutes, the road joins another better made road that's cutting through the scrubland, and it has the same ruts that you saw before, which are for wheels. You saw that the carts fit into the ruts on this road perfectly. They are kept equidistant for easy transport, and the soldiers lead you off around a direction, and you can all see that there are lots of dwarves out on the plains, and they are, you recognise they're marching around. They're in drill. They're in drill, they're in formation. Maybe they're on exercise, you're not sure, but there are lots of them there. I mean, at least 1,000.
What war are you guys gearing up for?
The war.
Okay, I think we might have missed that memo.
Who are you going to fight?
Come with us.
Yeah.
And they lead you. There's a pair of dwarves. You can see a large stone palisade abuts the mountain range, and you can see that there are layers and layers and layers of fortification. It looks like there are 7 different walls leading up to.
That was a good book.
There
was a book I read when I was
Tell me in
young.
the break. There are 7 different walls leading through a narrow pass to a large stone doorway cut into the mountain itself. And at every door, the first door you are walked up to.
Apparently, we can't bring Florence in. So.
That's correct. The first door you are walked up to.
Hi. Apparently, I need to check my Gorgon at the door. Do I get like a? I'm gonna get.
Why are they here? Captain, they said they want to see Balthazar. Clicks his fingers, and out comes a dwarf, looks at the Gorgon, very confused, takes it by the reins, and walks it off. And this, I mean, if you guys are gonna, they'll happily let you in.
Yeah.
And great, you
Can
repeat this procedure.
Get a general feeling for this place? Like, these are all well-trained, well-drilled,
Yes, they are.
well-organised military camp organisation.
Yes, they are.
Cool, feels like home.
This is extremely well trained. Security is pretty tight here, and make me a. Where's your warfare when you need it?
Tactics? Is there
Investigation, I guess.
Investigation.
I'll take an investigation check from you.
Investigation.
Trust the legend.
14.
14.
Trust the legend.
Yeah. This is. You would not want to try and lay siege to this.
With 6 men.
By myself? No. But
This is so defensible. It's rings of walls that narrow and narrow and narrow and become even easier to defend, with a killing floor between each one.
Yeah.
Who is the best military in the Southlands?
Merrick.
Galatea.
Galatea.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we have the biggest at least.
Well, we have the most active because we're looking to. It's an expansionist thing.
How do you think the army of Galatea would do against these fortifications? Because this is not something that I know.
Okay, so
all right. Sure. You were being flanked by 2. You have acquired more dwarves with each door that you pass.
I'm not a general. My gut feeling is the way you deal with a fortification like this is you go around it. You do not siege this. This is not a thing that you siege unless you have 0 other options, because this is just an industrialized way to kill people.
The dwarves aren't saying a great deal to each other.
Mm-hmm.
They're sharing looks, but they're not talking very much.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty much exactly what I expect.
And there's the main gates are opened, and welcome to the southeast entrance.
What's this called?
This
place?
southeast entrance.
Oh,
the
southeast entrance of.
Oh, I see. Oh man. Sorry.
That's right.
Megafort.
Megafort, yeah.
No, that was. This is son of Megafort 5000.
It's just Blackspine Keep. Okay, fine. Blackspine Keep. Blackspine Keep. The doors open and you walk in, and it is astonishing. This is the inside of a mountain that has been hewn. Part of it is natural cave formation, and part of it is just incredible stoneworking. But the entire roof structure, as you look up, is made entirely out of beautiful carvings, ornate designs, and intricate patterning. There is dwarven runes. There are dwarven runes on the floor.
Like a natural cathedral.
Like a natural cathedral. Wow. And as you walk in, you can see that cathedral is exactly the right kind of word. It's been hollowed out in reverence to dwarven kind. And inside here, you can see loads of dwarves. The dwarves immediately that you meet are military. They're all in armor. They're all talking and waiting around. But you can see beyond them, there are civilian dwarves. There are just loads of them. They're walking and talking and greeting each other and trading, and you can smell food. And it's like they live here. So you have left the Gorgon out the front. Fox gets to the door and tumbles in. You got a 16 on your disguise. Great. Okay. Nobody notices Fox, and the heavy stone doors are pulled to. And yeah.
I wonder if I could put Fox in a water canteen.
That's
I'm
almost
not
definitely
gonna
a thing
try.
you should try.
There
earlier.
are flickering torches lighting everything, and you can see that they've all been placed really nicely to create artful shadows. It's part of the design of this place. It's got a light escape. And you are getting some interesting looks.
There is a way to feel humbled, and then there's this.
Are there any other non-dwarfs inside?
You can see an ogre.
Is it dancing?
It is not dancing.
Is it Balthazar?
It is not Balthazar.
Is it Crump?
It is Crump.
It's
Crump
Crump!
notices you and comes running over. His footsteps echo heavily in the giant dwarven chamber. Iris! Boom, 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 boom. You are picked up and hugged.
Oh, it's all.
Pog squeaks.
Pog. Pog's asleep. Go off, says Pog. You hear it. That occurs.
Crump, where is Balthazar?
Working.
Could you take us to him?
I think we're getting processed by these fellas. And,
Sure. So they are attempting to figure out the best procedure here, and they've summoned someone. So you're being asked, can you just wait here? Please?
have I noticed rank insignia on these?
Oh, excellent question. Take a perception check.
8.
On an 8, 8's not awful. You have noticed no rank insignia.
Mm-hmm.
What you have noticed is that the dwarves,
Yeah.
all these military dwarves that you have seen, look slightly different. There's something about them to the dwarves that you saw on the road before.
Okay.
And
what, demeanor or physically?
You're
Can't
not
place
sure.
it, yeah.
Something. You go, okay, these all look like military dwarves. Okay.
Cut from the same stone.
Yeah, cut from the same stone is an excellent expression.
How's Tyndall taking all of this?
Tyndall loves this. Tyndall,
Yeah, 'cause
he's
big
an
architecture
architecture
nerd.
nerd.
He's
Architecture
an
nerd.
architecture.
Yeah, and he's come running over and he's pestering the dwarves with questions about, and how exactly did you make that? Look at this, look at this. He's a kid in a candy store. He's having an absolutely brilliant time. And it's...
Okay, maybe.
Freya,
we
how do
shouldn't
you
have
feel
him.
about Tyndall doing this?
It's fine. I'll just follow him around and make sure he doesn't get in trouble.
That's my job. We can do it together.
It's both of our jobs.
I get the general impression that with Lord Tyndall it might need two of you.
You are, if you can just wait here, there's a politician coming.
Oh, I was hoping for somebody with military rank. Okay.
If I can ask you all to leave your weapons here.
All
You
of
can-
them?
So the obligatory scene of huge amounts of weapons hitting a table.
I'll put them slingshot down.
Are you trying to conceal any weapons on you, or are you trying to keep anything?
This.
Will they let me keep my stuff?
Yeah,
I'm gonna,
not deprived an old woman of a walking stick.
I'm gonna hold Thunder up by the head in a very non-threatening fashion. This is. I'm carrying this by oath. I don't think you'll be able to lift it. If you can take it, then I'd be happy for you to put it somewhere, but I don't wish. Yeah, I'll hold it out to him.
Okay. Well, dong. He takes it and his hand drops to the ground. He cannot lift this axe.
Yep.
Would you mind going and placing it on this table over here?
Nope.
Brilliant.
I'm gonna just say to Lancelot, I think it's probably best. Is that okay if I just leave you over here for a moment? I don't want to. I don't see this.
Be very careful against dwarves.
Oh.
They are. The dwarven spirit is. Be very careful.
The Dwarven Spirit is a similar power source to yourself in some ways in Sunsui, is that correct? It is not Nova, correct? I hate mining so much.
Next it weekends, I will tell you.
Okay.
You abandon. Have you, Freya? Are you keeping any stuff on you?
Shinsui is in my robes.
Shinsui is in your robes.
Trying to hide a katana.
Yes.
Can
Look,
you?
if Cyberpunk has taught me anything, this is entirely possible with the
Can
right
you
trench coat.
please
It's in katana
make
space.
me a disguise check using your
I have a
disguise,
disguise kit.
You do. That's allowing you to make the attempt.
I
You
did
roll
not.
a 2.
What did you roll, Josh?
What did I roll? I did not roll a natural 1, so I find Shinsui as the dwarves pat you down to make sure that you are not concealing any weaponry. They easily find the large katana.
Oh, sorry,
this!
Shinsui.
This is ceremonial.
Do not allow me to be taken.
I'm giving you, not keeping, taken, whatever.
Do not hand your blade. Charisma save.
Oh, God.
You want to pass this one?
You really do.
Yeah!
20 is enough.
I do not
you-
declare war on dwarvenkind.
Yeah. So you
Growth mindset.
you hand Shunsui in. Great. So the party have surrendered all their magical weapons, and
Those stripped out parts.
and there is after a short while a dwarf with a lovely set of braided hair comes up, and she says, "Greetings, everybody."
Your grunter's hand through his now short hair and is like, damn, I missed this.
She's wearing pale blue robes with a lovely dwarven belt. It's all really nicely made. You're here to see Balthazar. Might I ask for your names?
Neat.
Neve.
I am Freya of Merrick. Lady Freya.
I see. And your companion? I'm Lord Tyndall of Krassos. I see, she says.
Just York. Sorry, I don't have a title.
Oh, yes. Trump knows me.
And this is Sir Darius.
Also of Krassos, but mostly of Lord Tyndall.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure this was going to happen, but it is going to happen. So, if you will please come this way. And
Yes, sure.
she turns and says, "Seize them." And dwarves come to grab you all.
Crumb!
What's going on?
The help for Shunsui.
Okay. Yeah, that is right. We'll go for this. Crump says, "What?" And Crump comes running over, and the dwarves go, "Oh, this is a problem." But you have had all your weapons taken off you. You dash for Shunsui. Okay. Can you make me an opposed initiative check with disadvantage, please?
I definitely fail that because I've already got a minus
You have
4.
inspiration. You can spend your inspiration.
No, not minus 8.
All right.
Sorry.
You have disadvantage
Mental
because
maths.
you are surrounded by dwarves.
I'm using inspiration.
All right. You can roll it again. You can try and beat them.
Come on.
That's better.
You still pick the lower of the two if you've got disadvantage, even with the reroll.
9. I use inspiration.
Yeah. Okay. You can re-roll both. I'm okay with that.
You still pick the lower.
13.
13. You slip under the arm of a dwarf that comes to grab you, and you roll under another pair of arms, and you are grabbed eventually inches away from Shunsui, and you can feel Shunsui saying, "You need to," and then you are pulled backwards and away and manhandled by a pair of dwarves. Lord Tyndall is similarly grabbed, so Darius is not happy. Yes.
I'm going to try, it's all going to go worse for me, but there we go. Hypnotic pattern.
Oh God, why?
Here we go.
Oh,
Good.
Say
TPK.
what? TPK.
Everybody take a wisdom save.
What's your
Everybody.
Every
Everybody,
member of the
DC 14.
dwarven race.
Everybody
and this
within-
party?
No,
Everybody.
you guys too.
Did you fail? Oh no, you
Well,
can't.
charm
be,
effect.
You can't be charmed.
You're good. Oh, and
Neither can anybody
you
else
get plus
standing next.
standing.
No. If you're standing next to me, you cannot be charmed.
You're fine.
Okay.
So is Darius.
Well, no. So only so many people
Yeah,
can
that's
be
fine.
standing next
Okay,
to me.
Okay.
so
yeah.
so you are. So
Okay.
Freya, what did you get on yours?
13.
13 is not enough to save.
Nope.
Lovely. Freya,
Oh,
you.
there's that pretty pattern again.
I was next to Yorg.
Yeah, sure, that's okay. Freya, you're next to Yorg. I'll roll for Sir Darius. He does not succeed. I'll roll for Tyndall, who
He's under the table.
succeeds. He's fine. Okay, and the dwarves. What's your DC? 15.
14.
14. So that's
That's a nice.
all right. Approximately half the dwarves freeze and look up, and there is the politician dwarf who was here says, "Get the lawkeepers."
What is this about? Why are we being seized?
I am truly sorry, but we cannot allow you to leave.
Why? We came here peacefully to talk to a friend.
I understand. We are
Why is it Merrick you're going to invade?
okay. So they're attempting to grab you as well. Are you allowing yourself to be
Sanctuary.
grabbed? Sanctuary. All right. Right, there are waves of dwarves that are coming for you. Half the dwarves are standing around doing nothing.
I'm not being aggressive. I'm just trying to have a conversation with them.
I understand that. She says, I will happily talk to you once you are all safely in the cells. You have... What's your DC?
13, I think.
Okay, so some of the dwarves have got through and they are attempting to grab you. Would you like to make me an opposed athletics check at disadvantage? There are lots of dwarves.
No.
Chat says Moonbeam.
12.
12, okay. So you put up your spell to defend yourself and you have cast a hypnotic pattern. A lot of the dwarves are distracted. Some of the dwarves can't attack you, but you are in the middle of a military camp. You are dogpiled to the ground by dwarves.
We could have talked.
Find manacles.
We could have talked outside of cells, you know.
And I hope that we can continue to talk inside of cells. Iris, what are you doing?
As
are
I
you
would hope
submitting to
that
being
the fact
grabbed?
that we haven't actually made any aggressive action works in our favour.
Has everyone else been grabbed?
I think everybody has been grabbed.
Neither you. Are you trying to stop yourself be seized?
No.
Brilliant. Okay, then yes. So far, everybody else has been grabbed. Move, move! Says Tyndall. Darius.
Has grabbed someone.
Yeah, I think Darius is going to.
He felt as obnoxious haste.
That's
Darius
right.
is
Darius does
I
not
have
draw his
controlled
sword
Darius.
and just start
start
laying
laying
into
Darius
these
won't have a
dwarves.
sword.
yeah.
No, but he does not go for a blade
Yeah.
and start killing dwarves.
I
which he
contained
would.
Darius.
You did. Congratulations.
I achieved a thing.
That was a good thing to do. You hear what's going on, and Pog's head starts to.
No.
Right.
It's all under control, Pog.
It's all good. Everything's fine. Through the great hallway, you can see down a corridor.
I'll drop my sanctuary.
You drop your sanctuary.
Like if I'm literally being restrained in cuffs.
You have
there's no point.
been restrained. They have got cuffs on you. They're not magic binding cuffs, but they are cuffs.
I'll take the win.
Yeah. Great. In which case, you've all been grabbed by dwarves, and they've cuffed you all. The lawkeepers
In front or behind?
in front, and you can see the politician is somewhat apologetic about this. The lawkeepers turn up. Clunk, 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 clunk. There are 5 of them, and they are headed by a large female dwarf. She's maybe 5'6", so big for a dwarf. And she has on a kind of a tricorn hat.
Oh.
You attempt to, but
Yeah.
handcuffs.
Well, I guess I'll...
Yeah, that's fair. And she says, who are these people here? This is Lord Tyndall of Crassus. This is the politician. I see. And why have we been summoned? This one, whose name is Iris.
Friend of charity.
Oh, I like that. Okay, started casting magic. Which charity?
Charity to the afflicted.
You have met charity.
And
Halberd.
General Supper.
Yeah, sorry about him. Halberd and Slate.
You are sorry, you say.
No?
He fell fighting the
An incursion.
from the Illithids.
I see. Well, you will, I hope, not mind if we accompany you to the cells to make sure you do not try any magical shenanigans.
Of course, we're just trying to prevent bloodshed here.
Of course, this is a noble aim.
You took us somewhat by surprise. We were expecting a calm and reasonable chat, and suddenly we've been dogpiled by dwarfs.
Allow me to explain. My name is Lieutenant Peace.
Peace something, I'm assuming?
Peace and goodwill.
Peace. Lieutenant Peace and Goodwill. To all dwarves.
She takes your name.
To all
What
dwarves.
is- could you please drop your enchantment? Darius has now been restrained by dwarves. And he goes, I'll kill you all.
So Darius.
He's swearing and effing and blinding.
That's why it was necessary.
So Darius, if you want to try and get Lord Tyndall and Lady Freya out of this alive, that's not going to help. We're in the middle of an armed camp of
I
dwarves.
can guarantee that there will be no harm brought to Lord Tyndall, or indeed to Lady Freya, and hopefully to none of your
I
other
feel like we're
companions.
focusing on Lord Tyndall here, and I'm genuinely interested why, but I get the impression we're not going to know that until we're in a cell. So shall we get on with that?
They march you to the cells. They take you down. Yep, I hoped that wouldn't happen, but it did. They take you down some stairs, and they take you to I mean, these are into the rock. They have been cut. There is a long, dark corridor with a door to each individual cell.
Have we put in individual cells?
You are. Tyndall is put in one cell with the Lady Freya.
Yeah, a bit true.
Interesting. Tyndall and Lady Freya are put in one cell, and you three are put in another cell with Darius. You're not put in individual cells. They don't see. That's okay. The politician dwarf comes over and says, "I'm very sorry about this. I expect you're. Well, I'm sure this will all be cleared up in no time."
Can we ask what? Sorry, will you tell us if we ask why?
That is above my pay grade, I'm afraid. I will have to speak to the Queen.
Oh, that's probably quite bad.
And she leaves, and there's a dwarf that comes by and says, I'm instructed to see your needs. Food, shelter.
Just keys, please.
I get the impression that one he might not be able to help us out with. You know what? Water and bread would be nice, thank you.
Some hairpins would be greatly appreciated.
Right. Could you arrange for a meal to be brought to us, please?
Certainly.
What's
We can do
bread?
a great deal better than water and bread. You are...
This is a novelty to me. People who are locking me in a cell are treating me pleasantly.
Yeah, they bring you some really, really nice food.
Is this what happens when it's a diplomatic incident? Is this what a diplomatic incident looks like? Right, okay, fine.
I thought we left the diplomatic incident moored up on the river.
No,
No,
that's
that's
a
a
sinking
sinking
ship.
I think you find this is the sinking ship.
Anyone tell me why, when that dwarf opens a door to bring the food in, I shouldn't snap his neck and take his keys?
Because we're in the middle of the most heavily fortified thing I've ever seen in my life, surrounded by more heavily armed dwarves than I've ever seen in my life. We will get up the stairs and die, you pillock.
If you really want, I can melt the lock.
Do you know what? Okay. So, Darius, let Tyndall defend you on this one, because this is so his and Freya's game now.
If they wanted us dead, we'd be dead already.
The only way we're getting out of this is through politics, and it's so his and her ladyship's game at this point. Let them bodyguard you for a change, buddy, because we got nothing. No pressure.
Okay, so a delicious meal is brought to you all.
Who brings lamb to prisoners?
Yeah, I mean, it's really nice, and
This is really good.
Here's your bread.
I mean, thank you, because
bread and water.
No, this is for us.
I think have some wine. You've been given wine, mead, ale if you want it. Yeah, they're really looking after you. They brought you some nice curried lamb, and you have equally been given a lovely meal.
Tyndall, you couldn't fill me in on the whole political situation between Krassos and the dwarves, could you?
We share a border, my love. I have. There is no political situation.
Okay.
So they're talking.
They have an enormous army that's about to fight a war.
As a
and have
hypothesis.
imprisoned one of the senior nobles of Krassos and a relatively minor noble.
If I were to bounce
Politics
around
would be
some
ashamed
ideas,
of
that would
themselves.
definitely be it. Yeah.
Seems like a coincidence to me.
There have been a few. There have been a few times when, or at least we were told there were a few times when the north and the wildlands became a threat and we marched north. Maybe this time it might actually be a thing. Maybe they're actually planning on coming south. I don't know.
A politician is not a military general, And however good your armies are, a politician's job should be to try and create peaceful situations. Having heard, if they're planning on invading Krassos, that a minor noble has turned up in their fortification, that should be a moment to take them straight to the highest authority to discuss, to try and make sure that as little bloodshed can occur, if that's what's going on. That politician has done a terrible job. I want to smack them about the face.
She did literally say it was above her pay grade and went to talk to the Queen. That's literally what you just asked her to do.
Yes, but not by throwing us in a cell first.
I can get a message to Balthazar.
Yes.
Yes,
right,
rampaging ogres right now.
No, we need to tell him about the Pants Wizard. That's important.
Yes,
Do
that
that.
is important.
Do that.
Important.
Do that. That is important. Get that done, and then we have some other stuff in our back pocket.
Yes. I will write a message.
Just stick a PS, we're in prison at the end.
No.
P.S. Do you have bail money?
The message is, we're in prison, come and talk to us.
No. What? Because they won't let him down here to talk to us. Tell him about the Pants Wizard if that's your priority. If that's your priority to tell him about the Pants Wizard, tell him about the Pants Wizard.
We don't know if he's being kept as a prisoner as well.
Crump said he was working.
Do you remember his name? Do you remember the Pants Wizard's? No, the Pants
Maybe
Wizard's
not
name.
voluntarily.
No.
Nicholas, Christopher, something like that. What was his name?
Out of character, I know it.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Nicholas Benoit.
There we go.
Christopher.
Christopher.
No, I've been told Nicholas. I'm writing Nicholas.
Right, we're going to send a message to Nicholas.
Because I actually know what his name is because Lancelot told me what it was.
Yeah, Christopher Benoit.
Christopher Benoit.
Fine.
I was going to say you last on top, but you can't. Okay. After a while, Tyndall in the same cell as you. Well, how's your day going?
Are we in sight of the other cell with the other people?
No, there's pretty thick walls. You can hear conversation, but you can't really hear what they're saying.
Okay. Then Freya is going to collapse into Tyndall's arms with absolute emotional exhaustion from talking down the flame and steam water elemental.
Tyndall holds you and strokes your hair and says, it's all right. There we are. There. It's all right.
My heart.
We have each other. And that is surely enough to see us through. We've been through a great ordeal. And I assure you that whatever happens next, we're in the middle of something here.
It's okay. For now, we find out what the threat is to the south, and then we get transferred to the other prison. It's all going according to plan.
Is it indeed? Okay, so the door is opened, and there is the politician from before, and a dwarf who is clearly a lawkeeper, and a bunch of burly military-looking dwarves who are all in purple and gold. And she says, if you'll come with me, please, the Queen would like an audience.
Of course.
And we're going to take a short break there.
Are we going to?
Right.
Yeah. Right. Don't go nowhere. We'll be right back. I need to go, and we'll see you guys
Because
in 10
some
minutes
names,
time.
the names. Basically, I'm getting the impression that some names you were hoping wouldn't get dropped got dropped.
It was possible. Well, I thought there might have been...
Captain Lucille might be a free woman right now.
So she really might.
I really get the. So this goes back to a conversation we had in an After Dark a while back, along the lines of prep your world and then let your players interact with it. Don't prep specific things, because if Josh had prepped a specific type of encounter, it wouldn't have gone that way.
I can't decide. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's just what happens. I need to go and...
I mean, we have Chaos Incarnate here.
I thought there was always possible that you guys could do some
Not
recon.
this time.
You arrive and see a bunch of like dwarves in military stuff, and they're like, "We're preparing for the war," and you didn't probe that. And I thought, well, you could have discovered that they're
I
going to...
asked who are you going to fight?
That's
And I
true.
got no answer.
Who did you ask?
Yeah, the dwarves who were escorting us.
Oh,
When we got in, the dwarves who were supposed
I mean, to be honest,
Although,
they
to be
wouldn't
fair,
have
they
been
wouldn't
Oh,
have
right,
told
yeah.
us we're
Those
supposed to.
dwarves wouldn't have told you. My point is that they wouldn't have told you, but you could have gone, we need to find this out before we go in with information. Yeah, so if you ask the soldiers, they're like, well, we're definitely not going to tell you because you're humans who have come here and why are you here? Right. Back in 5.
Oh, hey, Silver Fox, what did you miss? Well...
We're all in jail.
It's going well.
They've taken. We have. I mean, I've got all my resources, but these people who require weapons to deal damage have got no means of doing it.
Shouldn't we need to meet, not the other way around?
I mean, that is true.
Yeah. Though you need to be more than you're prepared to admit.
Aww.
I can hide. That's all I need.
You can't shadow step though,
No, I can't. But I can make people think
and
what I
you
have.
can't smite.
Yes, but I'm not planning on it right this second.
That's why you're going wrong.
Not really. I think if we'd actually drawn blood, it would have gone a buttload worse.
I think the main thing that you need to take away from this Silver Fox is a train was mentioned.
And like Pandan Soda is just the most excited about the wizard train.
And unfortunately, we said the wrong thing, and now we don't get to go on the train.
We chose the wrong conversational choice
Exactly.
in the tree.
You forgot to save before.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Well, no, it's auto save.
Now
Right?
I'm going to go all the way back to level 1 now.
No, I saved it a millisecond before being.
Pandan Soda, I am incredibly excited. That's how excited Pandan Soda is, and incredibly upset.
Ooh, what has Liquid Lady been working on? Before you continue, what?
That's his caramel. Delish.
It's so good. Salted caramel chocolates. Oh my god, what is this? Consent.youtube.com. Oh, and we know that Balthazar is somewhere in the Dwarven fortification.
So is your fox.
I thought he
Oh,
owed
my
me
fox
one,
is
and now
nice.
he's literally joined the military.
I assume that. I assume that
Fox has been hanging around.
I assume that Fox was somewhere out of the way, being a potential get us out of the trap card.
I have a feeling Fox is probably curled up in Iris's hood at the moment. Very much annoying Bog.
Yeah.
I've actually had enough of Balthazar's lack of loyalty.
He doesn't know we're here.
You literally dropped him off a cliff into a puddle of poop. You were like, here, I might get to learn magic. Boom, off this cliff you go. Hi, can I learn magic? That was you.
Oh, Liquid
He
Lady.
doesn't know that.
Your RoboStar trailer is awesome. I'm really enjoying this.
Whoa.
Look, it's a trailer for the game. Battle killer robots. Unravel corporate treachery. Discover an arsenal of weapons. Oh, wow, this looks so good.
Ass.
Oh,
What?
PG.
choose how the story ends. There are multiple endings. I am here for this.
I do think we should do a Pornhub alternative stream. In the After Dark.
I'm sure that's basically happening in the
What is
fan
it?
fiction in chat.
What is this mysterious brown substance you
Oh,
require?
this is slavery-free chocolate.
Oh, I like. Can I have a piece of slavery?
Please have some slavery-free
Anti-slavery
chocolate.
Mm.
It is salted caramel.
It tastes so un-British.
Yes.
D&D is fun. Time walking beaver.
What? Oh yeah. D&D is great fun. If you've not done it before, it's just marvellous.
I mean, you only have to get 5 people into a room on a regular basis.
Who are adults.
The adults part is.
And
have
rapidly become adults though.
And
once you
have
start
similar
playing
goals.
D&D.
That's really important. You can play D&D as a dungeon crawl if you are all into playing D&D as a dungeon crawl. If that's what you want out of it, great. But half the group want dungeon crawl, and half the group want a character-driven story. It's not work very well.
Yeah, we're more looking for a Game of Thrones but good sort of situation.
No, I'm still waiting.
Ooh, but it's true.
I'm still waiting for the dungeon crawl. When's that happening?
We literally went through a sauna that time.
Yeah.
And
Dungeon
there was a
crawling
puzzle
Mm-hmm.
with different rocks you had to step on,
Mm-hmm.
and Jorg nearly died, which is what we learned, is that dungeon crawls are bad for this group. We are built for storytelling.
Three of us were fine.
I don't think you'd actually lost any hit points in a combat encounter up to that point.
Fine is a... Yeah, this is the thing. You say three of us were fine. Three of us were very not fine, and you stood behind us, going, pew, pew.
And?
Letting us soak up all the damage.
It's not my fault you fell in the water.
Oh.
Yeah, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Weird.
I just want to cut forward to the bit where we're on the train.
Yeah, unfortunately we're in
To
the
the
train.
prison.
We're on the train in cuffs.
Maybe if we up, down,
It's
left,
fine.
right, left,
It really
right,
is fine. I
AD,
can get cuffs
AD.
off you quicker than you can.
Really? I'll race you.
Anti-slavery chocolate.
Jokes on you, these are the fake cuffs I put on earlier.
So, Time Walking Beaver, do we follow from a story from something, or is it all made up? So there are lots of...
All stories are made up.
No, this starts in the...
No, serious question,
in
ask the
Dungeons
question.
and Dragons, there are pre-made adventures that you can go on with your party. I think they're called modules sometimes.
Yep.
But the person who is currently missing
Pre-written adventures.
from our group is our game master, our GM, our storyteller, Josh. And so each of us at the table is in charge of our particular character. And we decide what that character does in the world, and we are the heroes of this story. And then Josh decides everything else that happens. Josh knows what is going on in the wider world.
Yes, might be.
He plays all the other characters, and so I guess to a large extent, Josh is deciding what happens, but
We are in a
Josh,
story being told by Josh.
Josh frames the scene,
yes,
and then we ruin it.
We ruin it.
So similar to Skyrim, sort of things where you've got like, if you've ever encountered that game before, which I hope you have, with like dialogue trees and stuff like that. And sometimes you might have a good enough skill to unlock a new dialogue tree, except there is no set dialogue tree. Sometimes you just say stuff that makes the GM like have to go outside and have a cigarette for 5 minutes because you're Zoe. It happens reasonably regularly.
But yeah, it's like in this particular arc, I'm at a slight disadvantage because I am playing and like I don't know things, but also I live with Josh, and so I helped build a couple of the elements of this part of the map. So there's bits where I'm like, I do not know this. So it's like there are different ways that this story could go, and what Josh has done. More than like decide, it's like what we were saying before, more than like decide, okay, we're going to go through these points and eventually we'll hit this part of the story. He's gone, right, there are these different things that the players could interact with, and depending on what they do, will then change how things happen.
So choose your own adventure book, but you don't get to stick your finger in the page beforehand?
Exactly.
I have drafted a message. I'll run it by you guys.
That's a great description.
Balthazar.
Josh is the director, they are the actors, except the actors have been at the meth again.
And don't listen to anything the director tells them.
Not even close.
So, the message for Balthazar. Christopher Banui, a powerful wizard, is after your diadem. He knows you have it. We are being held prisoner in Blackspine Keep.
Please, stop.
Iris, I think I've got like one word spare. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Oh, yeah, say it's from Iris, yes.
10,
Do you want a top-up on your tea bag?
Just remove the spaces and it becomes
21, 22.
I know Josh is coming up.
I have 2 words spare.
Yeah, right, I'm going to
That is not how magic works. You're such a hacker. You're like, just remove all the spaces and it's one word, right? No.
This is so I was in the olden days playing San Andreas multiplayer, the like hacked multiplayer version.
Yeah.
I'm hosting a server, writing my own like scripts for commands people could put in the chat box
Yeah.
for my friends. And I wrote a command that let you send money to other people. One of my friends probably sent me negative $80 trillion, and I just couldn't buy anything for like weeks. My money amount was just going down and down and down whenever I opened the game.
Have you
It was going
considered
further and further and further.
Have you considered that your friends might be asses?
Sending negative money, that sounds pretty good.
That's exactly one of those things that you playtest for,
You
right?
have to be mindful of the details.
I played a game
Just remove the spaces.
where you could send materials, you could magically summon materials to your allies.
Yeah.
And I allied with someone who I wanted to take all their lands,
Yeah.
and marched all my troops up and sent them loads of materials because it makes your units really slow. And so I went, right, okay, I have a much smaller army than you, and I'm going to send all of your units all my gold. Here we go, have the entire resources of my kingdom. And his units went, oh, we can't move. Oh no.
I'm just going to sit here with my gold.
Well, that was fine. I took his headquarters and all his units disbanded. And then I went and took my gold back.
That sounds amazing.
Right.
And we're back in the room.
We are back.
What did you miss?
Sure.
Yeah, prison by dwarves.
I have a message.
Right, okay.
Telegram. Telegram for Balthazar. Telegram for Balthazar.
Telegram, candygram. Okay. So, okay. Singing telegram for Balthazar. You can read that in just a second, but for now, I want to focus on Tyndall and Freya, who are escorted.
Hey, are we not going to?
Tyndall and Freya are escorted.
Boom!
I must insist that you bring our friends.
I'm a little bit interested to see what happens with this, but I won't say because it'll be off camera, but I'm going to cast Bless on Tyndall and Freya, if those are the two that are going.
Right. Okay.
Like I say, I'm interested to see what happens. Have a D4, good job.
Thank you very much.
To attacks and saves.
So, attacks and saves, mostly the saves, I'm thinking.
There's lots of attacks in.
Lovely.
Yeah, attack politics.
You can't fight in the war room.
Okay.
Stop fighting in the war room.
Thank you. Okay. Tyndall says, I insist that we bring our friends, and
Oh, it only lasts a minute.
you are surrounded by sufficient numbers of dwarves that they accede to this request. The door is opened, and you are all escorted up to. I mean, it's weird because you're inside a mountain, but you're escorted up to what is clearly a throne room. You pass through a central market with. I mean, the craftsmanship is amazing. Tyndall is squeeing like a fangirl, or he would if he wasn't, kind of handcuffed. And you're passing faces of ancient dwarves that have been carved into every mountain. Wow. Yeah, it's really impressive. And it's like Mount Rushmore, but everywhere.
Tyndall, how do you talk to queens?
Same way as you would talk to anybody above your station.
I would imagine, York, that you don't.
With respect. I'm excited.
Does anybody have any ointment for that burn?
And you are escorted up to a throne room. The royal guard that you can see, who are in purple and gold. You twigged this earlier. Make me another perception check. You want to roll more than D4, probably.
Yeah, probably.
20. Yeah, these are different again to the military dwarves. You could take these dwarves out of their royal guard uniforms and put them in military garb, and they would be
wrong.
Different. Well, they'd still be royal guard dwarves. And
this feels very classist. Like it feels like almost like they're born into the class they are. That's interesting.
That's what you get. And you walk up into the throne room. The great doors are in the shape of a dwarf that is half male and half female, and the doors open and the dwarf's arms open with it. It's a cunning piece of stonework.
That's so
and you are welcomed into a.
Sure. This is how throne rooms look, I guess.
This throne room is entirely ensconced. It has been clearly worked out of stone and then the stone has been cast in bronze, and so the whole thing shines as you walk in.
Tyndall goes, oh, oh.
That's going to be a pain to clean.
And sat
Magic.
on a throne is a
Seems like they're pretty against me.
is a dwarf queen.
Depends on the flavour.
She has her hair in ringlets. She has a suit of, it is armor, but it looks
ceremonial.
It looks entirely ceremonial. And she has her hand on a stone axe, which you look and you now see is actually part of the chair that she sat on.
It's an armrest.
It's an armrest.
It's not Blackstone, is it?
The axe. Yes, it is black stone. It's a black stone axe. It's made part of the armrest. It's notable because it is not bronze, unlike almost everything else that's here. There are royal guards lining the room. I think there's 10 in here, and flanking her, there are another pair of dwarves.
I'm going to watch the politician to see what the proper, thing to do is.
Sure. The politician comes and kneels in front of the queen and touches her head to the floor and says, "Queen Delilah, may I please present to you Lord Tyndall of Crassos and Lady Freya of Merrick."
I'm going to kneel.
And you
Follow along.
Sweet. So you guys all kneel. Lord Tyndall kicks Sir Darius, and Sir Darius grumbles and kneels. And Lord Tyndall says, "Most gracious Queen Delilah."
Your Grace.
Your Grace, why have we been arrested? And Queen Delilah says, "My friends, there has been a tragic misunderstanding." Oh, she is, sorry.
I thought that might be
no,
you
no,
too.
no,
I was excited for a second.
No,
That's
sure.
okay.
My friends, there has been a tragic misunderstanding. We have been plagued by warlocks, and our guards are very jumpy. They are under orders to arrest on sight anybody who may be remotely suspicious, showing any magical aptitude, or even suspected that way inclined. I am so sorry that this has happened to such noble guests. Might I ask what your purpose is here?
We hoped to make contact with Balthazar.
Indeed, the ogre.
Yes.
That can certainly happen. You are acquainted with him?
We are, yes.
What are your plans henceforward?
We were on a pilgrimage towards a temple in the desert.
Excuse my companion.
Who is your friend?
This is Neve.
Step forward, Neve. Take me an insight check.
Okay.
Can everybody do that?
Yes, everybody can.
13.
On a 13, this is a shrewd woman.
13.
She's on a 13. I mean, you got to be careful. Obviously, she's in charge of this entire place, but she's sharp. It's this woman. On a 13, you go, okay, she's clever.
18.
18. Okay, on an 18 on your insight check, this woman is a warrior.
Okay.
She is used to combat.
Interesting. She doesn't want to be in the ceremonial stuff on this gilt throne.
Who knows? But she handles herself and she moves the way you go. Probably wouldn't want to fight this person. This is a combatant. What do you get, Iris? Oh.
No.
Fine. Iris, I ain't looking up.
I'll stay down.
Oh yeah, I will. You're way above my pay grade.
You say she's on, the arm of her chair is Blackstone?
There is a Blackstone axe that is built into the chair.
She within 30 feet of me.
You are probably just about 30 feet away, yes.
York just wipes his eyes and divine senses.
Okay. Good. So you divine sense and...
Does anything come up if she's... Because it doesn't show that power source. Well, I don't know what her power source is.
So you try and divine sense.
Yeah.
And it rings in your head, and you feel everything shaking off of the bronze that encases these walls. It is very difficult to sense anything in this chamber.
That is interesting.
Your divine sense didn't work.
I rolled a 19 in attempting to not show that response. I don't know if you want me to add anything to that.
No, that's fine. You're on 19. That's okay. One of the dwarves to her side looks at you.
Mm-hmm.
It says nothing. You're heading to a temple. Why?
Your Grace, while that was our initial objective, I have noticed that you have rallied quite a substantial force.
I'm very perceptive of you.
Is there an issue that your neighbours should be aware of?
Exactly, are you suggesting? Lord Tyndall is. He's going to let you do the talking.
Your force is significant, but bloodshed between the dwarves and Galatea should be avoided if it can be.
We have no particular interest in Galatea.
That is a relief.
So Darius looks Tyndall.
So Grassos.
Where do you have an interest in? Says Lord Tyndall. I'm sure that's... Tell me about this temple, he says.
That's a matter for my more spiritual companions.
We understand that there is a temple to the elements out in the desert, and we have been sent on pilgrimage to try and make peace with some of the energies that are there.
I see. Have any idea where it is?
Some.
This may be a matter for more magically inclined fellows to investigate. Your name again was Neve.
Mm.
Well, there is an arm of the Dwarven Corps, the Law Keepers. They are wise in these matters. I'm certain that within their great libraries there would be information.
Would we be permitted to look?
I would be gladdened to escort you all, or certainly see you all escorted to Mercy Point.
Ah.
It's a prison and a library.
Where you would stay as guests, of course, until such time as you needed to depart for your temple.
That is greatly appreciated. Thank you, Your Grace.
That's it.
Might we see Balthazar before we go, or is this...
Certainly.
May I ask, Your Highness? Grace, Your Grace. Apologies, I'm not used to talking to queens. I hoped that the martial force that you were raising was in response to the threat shown by Garlon's influence to the north.
I'm a new queen. That the Dwarven spirit required a peacekeeper. Emerson would still be here. I have been roused. War is coming.
Garland is coming. Do you know of that?
Garland, as we understand it, is to the north of Galatea.
And has infected an entire tribe of orcs and subjugated them to his will, and is seeking to spread his infection across the entirety of the land we stand on, including yours.
True. But to reach us, Garland would have to cross the desert.
Mm.
Or, of course, go around through the Bradder lands. We will defend ourselves. We will make sure that every border is secure.
All of your borders are secure.
Eventually. Chat says, yo, Dwarf Queen, son. She's, once again, I would like to apologize for the misunderstanding earlier. I hope you were not mistreated in any way.
We were not.
You have my personal apologies. I will see Balthazar as summoned in due course. Have we further business?
None now, but so you know, if you need me, I'm around, and I'm happy to represent the interests of Galatea.
Now that is interesting. Thank you. You all can leave. She says, with my apologies once again. I would, however, like a brief word with you, Lady Freya, if you would not mind remaining. The dwarves are willing to escort you, or looking to escort you out of the chamber. You guys are happy to go.
I look at you.
Yes.
Okay.
We'll wait outside.
Okay, there's a flurry of conversation between Delilah the Dwarf Queen and her two advisors, which takes place in Dwarfish and very quickly. She is speaking Brata. She has been speaking Brata to you all. And what exactly are Galatea's interests in this regard?
Peace with the north and stability. The south is not stable right now. Trying to do anything I can to remedy that.
So, tell me of the south. There is a civil war brewing. In fact, it has begun.
That is unfortunate news. I have been away a while. Well then, a new king will rise one way or another. I will do my absolute best to ensure that our borders remain peaceful.
How are your relationships with Krassos?
Improving. You may notice I am betrothed. The leadership of Krassos is not so wise at the moment, but this is going to be changed.
How?
I mean,
How?
well, when civil wars happen, power moves around more freely.
And this is something that you're looking to expedite?
Yes. And if it's something that you could assist with, then your borders with Krassos would improve, trade would improve.
What exactly are you offering me?
A strong ally in the south.
I slept some 400 years. When last I slept, I was a war hero. I had defeated the Golden King. Our empire spanned most of this continent. I have awoken, find that my predecessor and those who came before him have squandered and urinated away the great dwarven tribes. We are disparate and spread, forced up to this remote and barren mountain range. Is this justice, Lady Freya?
No. There are battles to be fought in the near future,
There must be, or I would not have been awoken.
but I assure you they will not be between you and the south.
How can you assure me this?
There are enemies aplenty otherwise. Alliances should be forged where they can be.
Yeah. Go diplomacy, Freya.
Diplomancer.
Leave at the door. Ah.
I will see you are escorted north. Perhaps when you return we will speak more on this. Lady Freya.
Agrees.
Woo! Sweet. You are taken to, well, you're taken to a great quarry. And in the quarry you can see there's excavation going on, and a lot of it is being done by ogres. You can hear the shouting of it, and Balthazar is ordering his dudes around. And
Still helm?
Balthazar, Balthazar does not have the helm. He is ordering his dudes around. And you arrive and you can see Balthazar shouting in Istalian at the ogres. Move that this way! No, this way! You have to do as I tell you. You come this... Ogres are such painfully dense creatures. And he is speaking to his troops. You can see that he is being assisted by a pair of dwarves, one of whom is asking him questions in Istalian. And take me an insight check, please. Iris, you can take me an insight check.
13.
13. Okay. The dwarf is teaching Balthazar. He is showing him how to form an quarry and how you need to organise your teams of people moving things. There are 100 ogres here, and they are all engaged.
It's the whole camp, right?
It's the whole camp, and they weren't all here when you arrived. They've all moved up. You guys turn up.
Friswold has subscribed. Thank you.
Thank you, Friswold. You're amazing.
Woo!
3 months running. What a pro.
Yes. In that vein, I'm going to run down into the quarry and go, Balthazar!
Balthazar's going to turn. He's going to say, leave! Boom, 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 and come towards you. It is good to see you.
You sink a little bit.
Yeah, you can take a point of damage. As,
take a
Balthazar
point of
claps you on the
damage.
shoulder. Ha ha ha! And where are your friends? Are they here?
Yes, the interlopers are on their way.
Ah, good, I'm pleased. You must have found our camp and been so dismayed to find our absence that you pursued us all the way here. Well, there is Iris. Hello, Iris. Cramp was looking for you.
I found it.
He's been looking for you for some time. Unsuccessfully. And Jorg,
Balthazar, it's good to see you again.
we have much to discuss. One moment. He turns and says something to in Dwarvish, and
Wow.
then turns and says, keep working, we'll have a break in 10 minutes. He booms, break in 10 minutes. And Lord Tyndall is somewhat alarmed.
Don't worry, he's friendly.
Lord Tyndall and Darius. I see.
So, has Balthazar got the diadem on still?
Balthazar does not have the diadem on.
Where's your diadem, Balthazar?
Ah, yes. Nasty business, that. It was taken.
Didn't have trousers on, did he?
Wizard? No. Strange metal hat.
But you don't appear to need it anymore.
Ah, well, you see, after the last time, I had a good long chat with Zalba, and we took certain precautions. Observe. Balthazar, his brows furrow, and he draws a rune in the air. And
like a proper glowing rune.
Proper glowing rune, and there's a little whoosh of light.
This is amazing.
I insisted that steps were taken to ensure that should the diadem be removed once more, I would not return to a savage and barbaric state. Took some time and some convincing, but eventually Zalber acquiesced. And I'm glad that I took such a precaution. I must thank you again, friends, for elucidating what could have been.
But she abandoned you for another again.
It was a more mutual exchange.
Oh.
A wizard turned up without pants and asked me for the diadem. And I conversed with Zalber. And I am not unreasonable and would not like to be held captive in the same way as I would not like to hold another captive. She wished to go. So, having given me everything that she gave me before, I saw no reason to keep her.
We came thinking the worst. I am glad that things were resolved civilly.
Have you eaten?
No. We can always
Lady Freya turns up. Then salted fish, please, and in great quantities. And the dwarves.
Iris's hood.
Yeah, Iris, your hood does bulge and all. Yeah. The dwarves bring out platters of salted fish.
Balthazar, I must ask, what brought you here?
The dwarves.
Looking around, under duress or threat?
No, not at all. They arrived and discovered that we were here, and they offered us an opportunity to come and work and trade and learn. And we seized it with both hands. It is stop that, he says to one of his ogres. It is rare that an opportunity presents itself for a true integration. It is a trade, if you like. They are instilling skills into these ogres and teaching us to build and craft. We helped build the road which we walked upon.
And it means that you're not the only person teaching them anymore, which must be a bit of a weight off.
It is a blessing to have so many able dwarves. And I see no reason not to help them in their war effort.
Do you know who the war will be against?
I think Krassos.
It's nice to hear somebody admit it.
Why would you not?
Makes perfect sense, of course.
Balthazar, allow me to introduce Lord Tyndall of Krassos.
What? Who's Lord Tyndall? Did you know about this?
No.
But then what are we to do?
Well, I guess we must gain favour with the Queen.
Why would they want to attack Krassos?
Because they live in a dust-bound mountain. It's so verdant and green outside. Why would they not want to be here?
Tyndall, what do you know of the history of Krassos?
I know a great deal. What specifically would you like to know?
Who owned it before you did?
Who owned it before it was...
Well, the Browser peoples arrived some 350 years ago.
And who did they conquer it from?
Oh, the Estalian races.
Which ones?
It was the dwarves.
Are you putting this together now?
That was 350 years ago.
The Queen is 400 years old at least.
No, didn't she say she's slept for 400
Yes.
years? Yeah. So when she was last awake, where you put your house was hers.
I think dwarves experience time very differently than we do.
Well, but they can't just come down and take it. We live there.
Did you not see everything outside? Because I think they can come down and take it.
Well, hopefully, with you and Freya here and discussions continuing, maybe it need not be taken at the point of the sword. Maybe
An accommodation could be
My
reached.
lord,
Yes.
in the nicest possible way, the phrase
Perception check.
"they can't come down there and take it" was probably "it's ours, we live there" was probably reasonably echoed by the dwarves that your ancestors took Krassos from originally.
You can't hold me accountable for that.
No.
well, you are third in line to the throne of Krassos.
Actually,
I mean,
yeah. Sorry, no. Yes, we can.
You
You're
really-
third in line for the throne of Krassos.
This responsibility has been inherited to you.
You are being watched like a hawk by a dwarf in robes.
Oh no.
Right. Well, this is interesting history and politics, but I'm afraid I have to get back to work. You are welcome to come and assist me, otherwise, oh, there it is. And a dwarf returns. BAM! Hits you in the face with a piece of salted fish.
York's like, no, I don't partake in that particular one. But
Oh.
You're a chicken last time.
Yes, Neve. Can you please take me 7 points of damage?
7?
7 points of
Ow.
damage.
Salt fish damage.
Yes.
One last thing, Balthazar. What do you know of Mercy Point?
Some of the dwarves have mentioned it. It's a big, I believe it's where they put their prisoners.
Is there a library there?
Possibly. I'm afraid I cannot assist you. The train goes there. Remarkable device.
Do you have any books here?
I do not have any books here. They are being fetched by dwarves, I believe.
Yes, we encountered them on the road there on the way to the camp.
Lovely.
I think
There's Jackson and
Wayne.
Wayne.
I
Yes.
can't remember. Do I still have the spell book I took from for us to do something with
You
it?
burned it.
Yeah, we burned it.
Good. Right.
You burned all those
Oh.
spellbooks.
No, we took one.
how are Clarissa and
So
Brittany?
I'm going to give that to Balthazar.
You're going to give Balthazar one of their spellbooks.
Yeah.
If you still have it on you.
That's the thing I can't
Yeah.
remember.
Let's assume you do. That's
Yeah.
okay. Balthazar will love to take a spellbook.
What?
I am extremely pleased.
Yeah,
Thank you,
I
Iris.
can't make head nor tail of it.
I will study this in my spare time. Much obliged. Balthazar the Ogre Wizard.
Yes, what did
What
happen
happened to
with...
Clarissa and Brittany?
I had to make a hard choice. I decided against allowing them to return.
Okay.
It was not easy, but heavy the head that wore the crown.
Where's the crown? You might not be wearing the diadem anymore. You're still king of the ogres, Balthazar.
This is true. Thank you very much, Hawk. It is always nice to have a fresh perspective on things. Back to work. And yeah, he gets up.
Safe travels, Balthazar.
It's good to see
Enjoy the fish.
you.
And off he goes. Yeah, so the dwarves are working with the ogres. This is a site you've never seen before. It's a well-organised quarry because it's run by dwarves, and the ogres are making short work of what needs to be done. They're slicing the rock and they're moving it. A dwarf comes
I'm
up
going
to
to turn to our escort. Oh, yeah.
you. Yeah.
This train thing to Mercy Point, is it
What on
like
earth
a
is
thing
it?
we go on now, or is there a bar nearby that we can sit in for a bit first? Or
My instructions are to take you to the train when you're ready to depart. If that's
So
now.
the train will depart when we are ready.
What
Oh,
is
sure.
this? Can you describe it at all?
I assume it's like a wagon train, right?
You can come and have a look if you want.
I would very much like to.
Sure. We'll get your belongings and come with us. Anything you guys want to get while you're here, and your belongings, you can take them with you.
A book of dwarf.
A book of
Ooh,
Dwarvish.
Good choice.
Spot the dog in Dwarvish.
Sure. That
What
you,
do you...
you can get a book in Dwarvish.
Yes.
Do you know if bronze has any weird effects on magic? I tried to sense in the Queen's throne room, and it was like putting your head inside a
Arcana
bell.
check. 21.
It was like putting your head inside a bag.
Yeah.
Because she had Blackstone on her throne. I was trying to work out
I did spot that.
On a 21, you notice that the whole way that chamber was built is like a resonating or an amplifying chamber.
But I guess one that's designed to push the echoes back into itself rather than out.
It's very difficult to use magic in there, but now that you're looking at it on a 21, you're pretty sure that it focuses everything towards the throne. So if you were on the throne, you might have you don't know exactly what magic it's for, but it's clearly designed to do something.
That's interesting. It seems to be that the layout of that room would confound magic users and empower the one on the throne.
Talking a lot about the dwarven spirit, and a single avatar for their race seems to be what they're going for, and that would make sense.
Yes.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
If you come with me, you are taken through this, gorgeous carved cathedral.
Actually, so while this dwarf is taking us on, is he a military caste? Is he?
This dwarf is. There are military dwarves around, but this dwarf is not military now.
Okay, so I don't know if there's a way to approach this. I'm just going to go for it. Like, I get the impression that if I saw one of the Royal Guard in like a standard military uniform, I'd still be able to tell that they were a Royal Guard. Are you?
Of course.
So are you like born a Royal Guard? You're always going to be a Royal Guard, and you die a Royal Guard.
That's right.
Huh.
How is that achieved?
It's the dwarven spirit. It chooses when you're born. Works out what we need. Up you go.
Huh.
A lot of soldiers been born recently.
You can't change. It's at the whim of the monarch.
Interesting. The monarch.
The population's really increased recently. I've been here a while, but
The call.
that's right.
Yeah.
The dwarves coming in from all over.
Huh.
And is this is like the seat of your civilization, or is this like the capital?
I guess so. It is now. Wasn't always this way. So they say.
Where did used to be the capital?
That's all.
No.
Right. Well down south. We had a mighty castle above ground.
What did the castle look like?
He proceeds to describe to you
We lived Tyndall.
the capital city in Metria.
Oh.
In Metria.
Yes.
This is far beyond Iris's ken.
You were not kidding when you said down south.
Well, our empire stretched. We had many great cities.
They largely above ground.
A lot of them, yeah. This was unusual, but the desert terrain around here, I guess, is why we...
Yeah, you need to live underground or you'll cook, right?
More or less.
And you only have dwarves down here, no other races.
Wouldn't see much point.
Why?
Because we're really racist. No.
Well, I can't exactly commune with you the way I can with other dwarves.
What, in terms of language?
In terms of... Boy, you don't know much about dwarves at all, do you? The dwarven spirit's just that. It's a shared consciousness between all dwarves. He's hungry. He looks at another dwarf, and she sits up and blushes a little bit and turns and walks off.
That would make things so much easier.
Oh, sure.
Like, so much easier.
All except for them lawkeepers.
You can't sense them.
They do well. You sense them, sure. Same thing over and over again.
What's that?
What do they say?
I am the circle and the circle is me. That's all you get. I am the circle and the circle is me.
Is that
I am
natural?
the circle and the circle is me.
Is that how they're born?
It's a good question.
What does that mean?
I have no idea. I'm not
You're
a
not a
lawkeeper.
lawkeeper.
It's training, but it's unusual and disconcerting to not be able to know what they're thinking. It's one of the reasons we don't get on so well with other races.
And is that
Oh,
like the
because you're so used to knowing exactly what everybody.
Yes.
That makes so much sense.
You're just less trustworthy.
That makes... Humans can sort of do it. You can sort of learn to read people, but it's hard. People are difficult. People are so difficult.
And so is this why the lawkeepers kept separate?
Yeah, they keep themselves to themselves, and most people are happy about that. You'll get the odd one walking through, but it's...
Goosebumps.
Exactly so.
Who's in charge of the lawkeepers?
Well, they gotta... I don't know. I suppose they have to answer to the Queen eventually, but...
I hope so.
I would hope so. They got a general, I think.
Oh, yeah, I think we met him.
General...
Stuff of the Witch Not to Live?
That's right.
Yeah, they need a new general.
Then I don't know the process for appointing one of them.
Well, we're going to Mercy Point. I guess we find out, aren't
I'm
we?
not a lawkeeper, I'm a worker.
The lawkeepers are mainly in Mercy Point?
That's their big citadel.
I guess we must be nearly at the train at this point.
Sure, you arrive, and
World building, ladies and gentlemen.
there's a door that opens, and you've moved through the mountain a bit. You entered through the south-southeast entrance, and you've come out of a northern entrance of this mountain.
Oh wow, we must have walked some way.
You've walked some way, and you have... Well, the whole part of that mountain is going up, and if you can just go straight through it, it only takes you a couple of hours, and you've come out the other side.
When I realised quite how far we're going to walk, I'm like, I left my mount at the front gate. If we're going to Mercy Point, can I have that brought through, please?
Sure.
She's a good girl.
Send a message for that.
Thank you.
And you arrive.
I want to know what it looks like. I'm excited.
The doors open, and your Gorgon is waiting there for you.
What?
They put her in a catapult, just fire her across.
The first thing that hits you is the heat. It is really baking hot out here. And you look and you can see that there are shifting sands almost as far as you can see. The edge of the horizon is a blur. There are bits of coarse scrubland that fade into arid desert. And far off in the distance, you can see that there are great strange shapes that stick out of the sand. Some of them clearly rock mesas, table mountains, and pillars of stone. Some of them are made out of a carved black stone, and they are far off into the distance.
Is this just what it's like up north? Like I've never seen this much dust.
Oh yeah, that's true North Country. There be giants. And
Met one of those.
you walk out, and you walk down a set of steps that leads to a long stone platform, on which you can see a pair of rails that lead straight off onto the desert, and the tracks continue off into the distance. There is a 3-carriage train. One is a carriage for freight, one is a carriage for people. You can see there is a door that opens
What's it
into
made out of?
cabins. This train is made out of... it's painted, so it's hard to tell exactly what it's made out of. It's made out of wood and metal. And it's painted a purple and gold.
I've never seen a carriage like this.
Yeah, it's remarkable. The front of the train, the locomotive carriage, has a little driver's compartment and a steam engine.
Where's the?
Does it have like a?
Where are the
smoke
horses?
With
Where
a
are the
smoke
horses?
stack.
Where are the?
Yeah.
Where the? What pulls this?
There's a and Paul goes, "What was that? What was that?"
Good question.
Ow! What? Why does it make noise and what pulls it?
That's a great place for Fox to play in the Steam.
Yeah.
Here you are.
No, sorry.
It's an odd thing to have steam scream like that, though, so loudly, right?
What pulls it?
I've heard kettle whistle.
Well, that's dwarven magic. It's a lawkeeper train.
Okay, so it's wizard stuff.
They build it.
Sure, I accept everything I see now. Fine. If it's wizard stuff, if it's wizard stuff, I just don't understand it, and I'll just not do that.
This is the train.
This is the train. There's only one.
This is it. Takes you to Mercy
But this
Point.
is lawkeeper magic specifically.
That's correct.
You mentioned being reacquainted with our belongings.
Sure, you have gone and got all your bits and pieces. That's fine.
They've been brought.
They have been brought. Shins.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Okay.
They might have had to give me Lancelot before we left.
No, you'd have gone and got
You've gone and got it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah. It's like
Freya, yes, you pick Shunsui up, and
one of them just comes along swinging it around like this.
Shunsui gives you a point of psychic damage as you pick him up, and says, "You must not allow me to be
I'm
taken
going to
from
give him
you,
a
child."
point back.
Oh snap! Take me a charisma save.
Do it.
With a magic weapon.
This, it's so delicious.
Freya, he goes, "You must not allow me to be taken from you, child. You cannot let yourself be disarmed." And he tries to give you a point of psychic damage, and you close your eyes and force it back into the blade, and you hear Shunsui go, "Ah!" Please go to level 8.
Assert dominance over sword, gain level.
And Shunsui says, "Fine. You can be in charge for now."
See how that does for you.
And the
And that
door
was
to
an
the...
with a magic weapon.
It was indeed. The door to the... We're going to 8. The door to the carriage opens, and you can see that there are a group of lawkeeper dwarves who are standing on the train. A set of steps, mechanical steps, go and lower themselves down to the stone. "You would like to enter. Queen Delilah has requested you be taken to Mercy Point."
I think
How many of them are there?
You can see 6.
How big is the carriage? Realistically, how many people are going to be in there?
There could be another 4 in there. There could be 10 lawkeeper dwarves here.
I think we'll be okay.
Yeah.
Let's do
I
it.
just need to load my ball. Give me a second.
Your Gorgon is there's a little platform. You
Yeah.
step on it,
This is weird.
Oh!
and the Gorgon wanders back into the freight
Yeah,
transporter,
yeah.
the great big
Ownership.
flatbed at the end,
She'll be fine.
and
We're just susceptible.
Tyndall
Oh,
pulls out a handkerchief and starts mopping his brow.
Oh
It's
gosh,
hot
Sir
here.
Darius must be struggling.
So Darius is not having a good time in full plate. And
I think York at this point has taken his mail and Gambeson off because it's just like there are enough of them that we're all dead anyway. So
you board the train
Might as well die comfortable.
yeah, you're not wrong.
amid the baking desert, and there is a
Choo choo.
and the wheels chum 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 chum
This
chum
is weird.
chum 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 chum, and you set off through the desert on a train to Mercy Point, and that is where we are going to leave this session. Thank you very much, everybody.
We got a train!
You got a train. All right,
And
thank
also
you
an
very much
episode title.
for sticking. We got a train.
No, a train to Mercy Point.
A
Yeah.
train to Mercy Point.
Like if there was ever an episode title.
Right. Thanks for sticking with us, guys. We will be back same bat time, same bat place. You can always watch us on twitch.tv/selfpengm. You can check out all of our previous episodes on YouTube, link below. Please join us in the Discord. Let us know in the comments if you liked this section, and don't go nowhere, chat, because we're going to be right back with some After Dark. But until next time, keep rolling them dice. Bye-bye!